each of you like to say anything?
Treasurer.
Anyone? Oh, there you are. Thank you. Would anyone like to say a few words?
Mayor would like to send his greetings to everyone. If you do anything to help, it's better.
Okay.
I'd just like to mention that Chip Huggins called me earlier today, and he wanted to be here because his dad is really sick in the hospital, and he even sent me a picture to show me his dad laying in the hospital bed because he felt so bad, because I've been really sending emails out to everybody trying to get him to be here, and so if y'all would keep Chip's dad in your prayers. He's in the Providence Hospital, so remember him in your prayers. And Senator Ronnie Cromer, Senator Leatherman called a finance committee meeting this afternoon, so he is in a finance committee meeting. And Councilwoman Debbie Summers is teaching a class over in Triangle City, and she is going to try and come back. If we're still in here when she gets out at 8 o'clock, she's going to try and come back. So that, and income's represented that way.
Oh, there we are. All right. Representative Todd Atwater from District 86. 86.
Just have to on.
Would you like to say a few words?
I'm sorry? I apologize, I just walked in the building. So congratulations, Mr. Chairman, and everybody up front on your newly elected positions. I think it's wonderful. Katrina, I apologize, I just missed, thanks to the level of traffic. I know you're handling that in downtown Lexington. We are, I think we're at a little bit of a crossroads in our party, and we've seen evidence of that. And I sat among a number of you. I supported the winning candidate there, and I had a lady lean forward and say, "You're a great man," because I was sitting among those that supported someone else. We all have our own reasons, but I think the way that the convention was handled was a little too heavy-handed, and that's probably mine. If we're not going to let ourselves speak and listen to the other side, then I think we're doing it a little bit wrong. And I'm having that conversation with Chairman Connolly very soon, and I've already spoken to Alan Clemens about it. Again, we might not always agree on things, but I think everyone deserves to be heard. I remember, Bill, you said that during our county convention. I think that's absolutely right. So I think I will say a number of things, not just to compliment the senator, and she was recognized for a lot, a great accomplishment at the state convention. But if you've seen the new Senate, Katrina heads that up in a real sense. You see a lot of progress. Look at the bills they've passed. Look at the bills we haven't passed. The House is still somewhat mired in not getting things done. But since we've had other people move in and some move out, you've gotten things. So I congratulate the Senate on actually moving a lot of great legislation. Your support to not just the elected officials, but those that are involved in the process is critical to what we're doing. I just thank you. Nice crowd that we have here. And again, congratulations to all of y'all that got elected last month. So, thank you.
Thank you, sir. There are seats up here, ladies. I know, gentlemen, we'll let the ladies sit first, but there are a few seats up here. And I apologize for not having enough chairs out here. I got as many as I could out of the back room and put all these out myself. Like to see that, we're in the South, so ladies sit and men stand. We're fine. Before we get too much further in the agenda, I noticed that Delinda Wrightington and Hope Walker are back here. Would either of you like to say something from Chad or from the state party level?
I just wanted to say thank you so much. I mean, Hope can talk more from the party standpoint. I was from the re-elect standpoint, and I just want to say thank you very much for all of you that helped us achieve our victory again. All of you that worked hard for us. It was one of the nastiest campaigns I've ever been on, and I've been on a lot. I've worked presidential, I've worked congressional, I've worked local, I've worked statewide. This was the nastiest campaign I've been on, and it's sad that it has to come to that kind of division within our party, and that we all seem to fight among ourselves. It's now time to unify. The tallies have been taken, the votes have been counted, and it's time for us to unify together. We have big elections coming in 2014, and if we keep dividing like we're dividing, we're not going to be successful, and the Democrats will take the governor's mansion, and you can guarantee that. So it's time to put all those differences aside, and it's time to look toward the future. And I'm looking with each and every one of you in 2014 for those elections. And I look forward to you coming and working with us at the party as we move forward and as we win elections. So if there's anything we can do for you, we're always there. And then who can speak more on the, I'm sorry, I've got on the standpoint of the party aspect of it. We have phone banks going to my office in 7 counties around the state right now for Governor Sanford. Lots of people have come to me and said, why are you doing stuff for Sanford? And my response to them is, I can handle one race at a time. And so this morning, Chad took off and Alex took off to Charleston, and they have been campaigning with Governor Sanford today. And I have formed phone banks in 7 counties today, and my office is open phoning right now until 9 o'clock. So we're doing what we can. We're doing our part to make sure that District 1 stays red, and I hope you are too. And when you leave here, if it's not 9 o'clock and you want to come by the office, come on by. We still have phones available. Thanks.
Thank you.
So I'll be scooting out in just a minute, but thank you.
There's just a couple more chairs up front, ladies, if anybody wants to come and have a seat. Next item on the agenda is chairman's commentary. I want to make sure and read into the record the slate of new officers, because the bank requests to see that in some meeting minutes. Okay. Then I'll read those at the top of the form. So these are the officers that were elected at the county convention.
Chairman, William Rentiers. First Vice Chair, Greg Caldwell. Second Vice Chair, Ted Toller. Third Vice Chair, Michael Calvert. State Executive Committee Man, Dwayne Knockin. Central A, Richard Boland. Central B, Robert Killian. Eastern, Jerry Markham. Southern, Barry Finch. Western, Adrian Cannon. Northern, Pat Dolan.
Thank you. Okay. One of the things that I wanted to go over in the chairman's commentary is that there's been a lot of concern over having the meeting this far out of Lexington. I assure you, I and the rest of the committee is working to find something more centrally located. This location is absolutely not convenient for me. I live in Red Bank. This is too far away from me. However, I have done some research about having it either in the town of Lexington. If we did that, it would cost money by the hour for each meeting plus a deposit, and we could do that if you wanted to spend the money, but I am a tight wad. I am a fiscal conservative, okay? Let's just say that I'm stingy with your money, okay? I'm not going to make arbitrary expenditures that you don't approve, okay? So I'm very delegatory. My degree is not in political science, it's in business, okay? So I kind of prefer we always head up in bank accounts and down, wherever possible. So I have some information from the town of Lexington, from the Lexington Leisure Center, from the library. Another thing that I think it would be great if we did is give the opportunity for different folks in outlying areas to let us host the meeting closer to them. If you'd like us to have a meeting in Chapin, or in Gilbert, or in Killian, Gaston, Swansea, that's great. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the onus on the district vice chairs and precinct executive committee men in those precincts to do the research, find me a place that's either free or darn close to it, and we'll fit this many people, and we will have the meeting there, because I want more people in this county to be included. There's Republicans all over this county. They're Republicans in their heart, and they would love to be at these meetings if they just could, and I would love to be able to move it around. You know, if that doesn't work out, then centrally located is fine with me, but it sticks in my craw to spend money if I don't have to. Okay? That's why we're here today. Today was this was 3 weeks' time for me to set this up, and the price was right. Absolutely zero of your $200 had to be spent, okay? And there were even offers to pay for this to be at the American Legion. And thank you, Mickey Lindler and others, for offering to spend that money. I still don't want to spend that money on something as trivial as rare to me. Doesn't mean, Mickey, I won't come to you later and say, hey, that money you were going to spend, the party needs it for something else. But something more important than where we have our money. Okay? And I know it is pretty important. People really do want to have it in Lexington or somewhere more centrally located. I'm going to commit myself and the vice chairs here to finding a good place to have this, either one central permanent location or move, traveling roadshow, however. That said, the next thing I'd like to talk about. Yeah. Is there a question?
Yes.
Yes.
What happened with the old location?
The one right next to us?
No.
The county council chambers?
Yeah.
I understand that they were doing some sort of renovations with audio, video, things like that. And Craig, you
Yeah, Bill, if you want to chime in, just because of the renovations with the new audio, visual, everything else like that, they're not allowing any groups to get in there, and that's a decision that they made. And they've helped, Bill's given some ideas of some alternative locations we're looking at too, and we appreciate that one.
does that answer your question?
Yeah.
All right. And again, town of Lexington might be a possibility. The thing is that they have their meeting on the same night we do. That might require us to change from the first Monday night. If that's what you want to do, that's fine too. And again, if I can find a way to do it without spending your money so that we can save it for like getting people elected, whatever, that'd be much better for me. I'd like to ask Ned Toller to speak about the steering committee boot camp that he organized that we had.
Yeah, we had a meeting on Sunday afternoon and invited all the members of the steering committee. The purpose of the meeting was to establish goals and objectives for the party for the next year or 2 years so that we have a roadmap as to what we're going to do and where we're going. Some things that came out of the committee were that the regional vice chairs are going to contact the precinct presidents and start trying to build membership from the precinct level up. With the commission to organize the precincts that aren't organized and move forward in those directions. And we're going to count heavily on those regional chairs to do that job for us and start building this party back to where it needs to be. We also talked about having membership cards when you join the party. We send you a membership card that says, hey, I joined the party.
At least a thank you card.
Or a thank you note or something, because you send in a check and the only time you hear anything about it is when your bank calls, when you go on your bank statement and it shows that it's cashed. And we need to be a little bit more personal with that. Some other things, we talked about a lot of things. I'm going to have another boot camp meeting because we're still quite a ways from where I want it to be. But I think we're going in the right direction. We're going to have a lot of people working to build this party.
The next thing on the agenda is reports of vice chairs, if any. Is there things vice chairs would like to speak on? Go ahead.
We're going to start organizing committees again. We have like 12 committees and nobody in them. So we're trying to establish those again and have people actually get involved in things you might be interested in, from membership to, Christmas party or, any number of different things. So hopefully we'll be sitting out with different committees and seeing if anyone's interested in starting. Basically anything we do, we should have a committee for, get everybody involved one way or another, as well as if you have any events that you know about that are coming in your area, if you email me so we can start establishing a list of events so that we can be at these events. No matter how small, send it to me. I appreciate it. And that's about it.
Any of us will accept an email or call if you want to serve on any of these committees.
I got one more comment. One of the other things that came out of the boot camp, is probably one of the most important things, I think, is we're going to put a concentrated effort into building young Republicans' levels at the high school level. And go out and approach the principals, approach the teachers, and see how many clubs we can get started at the local level. And we want to see those numbers, those clubs, sitting in this meeting. Some of them.
So if any of you know a teacher at a high school,
Teacher, anybody that can help us.
because they have to have a sponsor at the school in order for us to do it, we can't just open it, there has to be a teacher or administrator.
Well, right now, we've got the summer to approach principals, and that's where we're going to start this summer. And anybody that wants to help us, and if you know people in the schools, call us. My wife, Vicki, is a retired school teacher, and she's going to be helping me beat the doors down in the schools, because she knows more of those people than I do.
Craig?
Yeah, I just wanted to add, kind of echo some of the same things, especially that Representative Atwater mentioned as well. Folks, this is your new team up here, but this isn't just our group. I mean, we're a whole body. We need to work together. If your guy didn't get in or anything like that, work harder next time. But I do want to ask that you support us. I'm going to support the chairman, the rest of these vice chairs, as long as they stay in line with the rules and everything like that. But we do want to put this party, this Lexington County, back on the map. There was a time when Lexington County set the precedence for the entire state. And we're going to put Lexington back on the map. And, we're, after our meeting together, we're going to work hard together. Representatives, county council, we want to be an asset to you guys. This is going to be an open forum where you can come. We'd love to hear your version on the sales tax increase coming up, and what projects that may be looking at. I know there's a committee set up for that, but to give the input on what we can do to better our community, but also put this county, Lexington County, back in the top spot at the county level. So I'm always an open door. So contact information on the website. Call me anytime if you have any ideas that can help or something we need to look at. Let's tackle it and move forward. So I do appreciate y'all's support, and look forward to the next 2 years of growing this party.
Thank you. Just a little additional comment to that. I was very encouraged by the stuff that came out in the boot camp with this team. I think we're going to work well together with the district vice chairs that were able to attend that meeting as well. I'm a very high delegate person. I'm a very delegatory person. I like to see everything go to the farthest level out and empower the precincts and the district. Because, we may have an S on our chest, but we can't do it all alone, right? I mean, and the elected officials back there know exactly what I'm talking about. They work hard to get things done for us, but they can't do it alone, and they need our support. Well, we need your support too. And sometimes that's going to mean we ask you to volunteer to, make some phone calls, whether it's for one of these officials or for, some initiative or something for the party. Chip in. We need your help. But I think it can be a really good team up here. We're looking forward to things being bright and sunshiny. So that's where we're at there. RAC committee. Did the RAC committee have anything that they wanted to report?
What about the RAC committee?
I'm asking if the RAC committee had anything that they wanted to report. I don't see.
No news is good news.
Okay. All right. And having served on the RAC committee with great men like Lyman and Gary and Jim Wellman and others, I'm inclined to keep it going. I really like the concept. I wish other counties would pick it up and run with it as well. But I think it's a great check and balance on, maybe the county sales tax thing might get bounced off of them, and then they'll find out what do we think as a group. Various bills at the State House. I have for a long time been on gun stuff. And I still am. It's hard for me to change. So, pardon me if I get too vociferous on those kind of issues, but, I'm passionate about it. It's important. And a lot of things that are going to come up are going to be very important. We're really hoping to do something good with the county party. So the rec committee, state executive committee, I don't believe Wayne is here. And I don't know
They had my wife in Cyprus on vacation.
Cyprus, that's got to, they don't have any banks, do they? Okay. All right, well, okay. The next issue, agenda item number 9 says Edmond 1 and 2, Central B District. And I wanted to bring this up. This was brought to my attention that at the county convention, when Central B, of which I am a member, caucused, Edmond precincts 1 and 2, Edmond 2, formerly called Bethany, were caucusing with Southern rather than Central B. The rules don't allow for that, for us to jockey those around unless a change in the rules is made at that county convention. So I've spoken to the person who was elected district vice chair that day, and I don't see, is Eddie Pitting here? He wanted to be here tonight. He said that he was interested in us re-caucusing, and I'll leave that for him to make that motion. He wanted to make that motion. Glenn Miller here. Glenn's not here either. Okay. Eddie Killian was very concerned that they re-caucus with Edmond 1 and 2 in there because Glenn Miller missed a chance to throw his hat in the ring for Central B District Vice Chair. And since those parties are not here, I mean, I'll certainly entertain a motion from the floor, but if I understand correctly, we need Eddie Killian to actually step down from that position and someone make a motion to re-caucus. It doesn't have to be here tonight. Yes?
By our bylaws, as posted on our website, if, under Rule 5, which is county organization, if you look at point D, which is resignations and vacancies, point 3 of that line says that a vacancy at that level is not elected by a re-caucusing. It's actually elected by the executive committee.
Okay.
And further, you have 2 regions affected by this vote,
Right,
not
Southern as well.
just one.
Southern as well. Right.
Exactly. Because you had people voting for that chair that shouldn't have been voting in that race as well. So if you're going to put it back out, you really need to look fairly at both.
That's an excellent point. So, question?
Is there a process for petitioning an objection to the elections? I mean, if there is no objection to it as it stands,
as far as the rules, I don't think there's anything in the rules that states a process for objecting to the elections the way
I
they're
don't know if there is.
The one thing that I want to make certain is that from today forward, we understand Edmond 1 and 2 is in Central B until we have a rules change at county convention.
Well, the executive committee can change that rule until we go to the county commission and make it permanent for the county convention.
Say that again, we can,
The executive committee can change it in the interim, but at the county convention, we'll vote on it and make it permanent. I mean, so in the interim, it could happen.
Actually, the county rules currently show
that it is
in Central B. We don't need to have a rule, actually, it was a mistake during the reorganization process.
right.
Well,
That was my impression.
it wasn't actually a mistake. It was actually, I believe Chairman Ison believed that that district was better served by moving it. It was closer to that. Am I right, Chairman Ison? Am I right, Chairman?
That's correct. That's right. So then, was that process, you said it has to be done by the committee then, was that process done?
No.
Okay. All right, well, I'll tell you what, we do need to address this, because there's some folks who feel it wasn't done fairly. I want to make sure that everyone feels that things are being done fairly here. table it for this meeting and make sure that everyone is aware that we'll bring it up again at next meeting, if that's all right. Okay?
I'll second it.
Okay. So then we want to, the next agenda item is Kendall McCarty would like to speak to us from Lexington Tar. Kendall, see you back there?
Hello, my name is Bill McCarty. I am chairman of the Lexington County Republicans, and this is Bill Phillips, my vice chairman. I'm also co-chairman of the South Carolina Federation of Teenage Republicans. Since the last time I've been with you, we have been working to grow our club on the county level. We've just got stuff set up where we are, right now we have 5 members on our county level. We want to grow so we can have members from any high school in Lexington County to join our organization. And we'll work on the county level to help with political issues, meet on a regular basis, discuss political issues, and help on campaigns. South Carolina cars right now, Teenage Republicans, we're working to grow as well. Right now we're up to about 10 clubs in the state. We are having our state convention this coming Saturday, where we're going to have teenagers from Hilton Head and Spartanburg and Lexington County come together, and we'll be meeting, having guest speakers such as Attorney General Alan Wilson, Congressman Joe Wilson, hopefully, and other guest speakers. Hopefully, the chairman of the South Carolina Republican Party, Chad Connolly, will also be able to attend. So, growing with Lexington County, we're working right now to meet with high school principals. We're trying to outreach anybody who you know to pull them into our club. Also, right now, me and Dylan both are hoping to attend the National Teenage Republican Leadership Conference again this summer in Washington, D.C. This will be my 3rd year attending, and this will be Dylan's 1st year. And I feel going back to it, I will learn more crucial knowledge because the past 2 years I've attended, neither one of the conferences have been alike. There were different speakers. Michelle Bachman's been there, Marco Rubio, other famous names in politics. And at this time, I'll turn it over to Dylan so he can tell you more about what he wants to achieve for this experience.
Yeah, I'm Dylan Phillips, and this will be my 1st year attending the National Teenage Republican Leadership Conference. It's in July in Washington, D.C. I've heard that it's been by Kendall that it was a great experience the time that he's been. We would just greatly appreciate any contributions that you would be willing to help us out towards going to this convention in July.
And I appreciate the Lexington County Republican Party, all the help that y'all have done through us in the past. I recognize many faces in here that have helped us as a club grow and help us get our club established. Also, many faces who helped me last year go to this conference. And I hope that you'll consider contributing again. The total cost of this conference, right now, we're looking at for both of us to attend, it's going to be about $2,300. And that's with a few contributions already come in. We are able to put down ourselves, our spending money, as well as the money for our luggage for traveling. And included in the price that I just stated, that includes our airfare as well to Washington, D.C. Are there any questions? Okay.
Can I get your phone number later?
Yes, I have a card if anyone would like. Thank you. Any other questions?
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all letting me come tonight.
If anyone would like to personally donate, then Kendall would be glad to sit around and take your donations. If the body would like to donate, welcome to the motion to the floor. thing on the agenda is approval of minutes. I'd like to do the last meeting, which I think was the 25th. Is that right? And it's not on here, but we also need to hear from the treasurer and whatever he might say about the report that we have here. So, do you have anything? Right, but I'm talking about the minutes first.
Oh, no, I don't have anything that changed. One thing, I got a call from, the game, I know this was previous, but he said to spread the word, there will be photo ID. So, he came at the meeting just before, that same time, just before. So, spread the word, there will be photo ID.
That was the meeting on the 25th that we had.
Well, he was there on the 4th, but that was the same month.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Treasurer's report, we have $7,928 in the bank. The reports that are on the back table for the whole year, our operating year ended April 30th, it's April, so it's May, April. So it has a full financial statement of activity, and the general ledger, if anybody's interested, people are ready out. And for the year, if we were a for-profit entity, we would have made $484. That's what we put at. We increased in cash $484 for the year last year. We have a lot of expenses this year that's money there, so we need to look at, I think we need to look at membership drive hard this year. I mean, that's all I've got. Unless anybody has any questions.
Any questions about the treasury report?
I'm sorry, so how much money do you actually have in the bank?
$7,928 minus the checks that wrote tonight, which are about $600. So $7,300.
And we did have some checks that we needed to write to Saxon Valley School or to White Knoll School, Mike Green. Was there any other?
Yeah, Lexington Chronicle, we had some advertisements that were there. And other than that, there was one bounce check, $40.
Oh, that was given to us.
Yeah, and then another $40 refund. That's $40 refund.
All right. Moving on to that.
Is there any old business?
Is there any old business that we need to take care of? Is there any new business?
Mr. Chairman?
I think it would be in order to ask Rebecca Shadwell and Terry Finch to stand up, and we all just commend them for the excellent convention. I just was astonished how quickly they pulled something together and the work that they did. And Rebecca, by the way, is doing a good job. She's very qualified. Let's give them all a hand.
Mike, did you have to do this?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. In the last month or two, Mr. Ison asked me to make a motion, if I felt strongly about it, so I am. The steering committee, under the previous chairman, was ruled as executive session behind closed doors that no one could attend other than the chairman, the chairman of the steering meetings. I make a motion that we open that to any member of the executive committee. And there's no reason for that to be closed, or, unless, and if you want to go into executive session, go into executive session, if you have legal issues or something, but I believe it should be open. So I so move.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor that executive, if I understand you correctly, the executive session is open to all.
Well, the
No.
steering committee.
Steering committee.
Steering committee meeting.
And that's where we decide what kind of business we're going to present, correct? So anyone should be able, so we can get input to present other businesses.
Before discussion, is there a second?
I'd like to second it.
Now is there discussion? Other than,
Mr. Chairman, the acoustics are terrible in this room, so when somebody's speaking, have them stand up. I got 2 hearing aids on, I still can't.
She asked, when does the steering committee usually meet? There are times when we might not meet, but we try to meet the week prior to the full meeting. And I don't have any issue with that being open. I'm kind of a transparency guy. If I wasn't a transparency guy, there would be a camera here. I want you to see everything we're doing, because this is your party, it's your money, it's your decision what we do. So I just consider myself a facilitator for what you guys want to do. But does that answer your question? Okay.
Stand up.
That, by the way, is another place that we looked into. The sheriff's squad room holds about 90 people, and that's another possibility for meeting. So that may be where we continue to meet. Yeah. Well, those of us who are big gun people and who have CWPs can't carry them in a place that's a government building in that. So anyway, okay. But there's a motion and there's a second. Is there any other discussion?
Call for the question.
Okay. All in favor of the question, which is that steering committee meetings are open to all?
One quick point.
Okay.
I mean, there will be times, like Mike said, that we will have an executive session, but it will probably be not called until we're actually in the meeting. Is that
right? And I'd like to reserve at all possible executive session for things that are very delicate, that would be embarrassing for a party member or elected official or whoever. There are times, I think, when if it's going to embarrass a member, that we might want to handle it delicately. Like, for example, we just received a check that bounced from someone. I don't think we need to broadcast that. We need to handle it privately. Those kind of things. If you agree, and no, it's not because it's my check. So I'm in full agreement with Mike Green. So I know that there might be some here who are not executive committee men. I caution you that please only vote if you are a precinct executive committee. Okay, and what I'll ask you to do is, all in favor, raise your right hand. We can count there. Okay. All opposed, raise your hand. The motion is carried. Okay? Okay. Other new business, I am appointing Nikki Lindler as a corresponding secretary, and I asked for the group's advice and consent on that. Beyond that, there is a letter that was submitted. Mickey mentioned Rebecca and Harriet, and they did a great job. But I'd like to also mention Mary Carr, who was credential chair. I stood next to her, as well as Carolyn and Jean and some others. She worked her tail off Saturday. Greenville County had a lot of problems with their credentials. We did. Not that we didn't have any problems. So we brought some things. But they were, a little snappy, little tiny speed bumps from here from the county to the state level. Mary caught everything, had everything dress in order, and said, okay, here's an issue, let's solve it. Everything went smooth. Every time somebody said, I can't stay, I need to leave the floor, turn your credentials over to Mary. Next alternate, come on down. By the end of the convention, we ran out of alternates to give credentials to. Everyone was there. There was nobody up in our alternate section who hadn't come down and been seated. It really was a good convention. There was a lot of good stuff that went through that convention. I personally am When Dr. Stephen Covey said once, when everybody thinks the same, nobody thinks very much. And if you all think exactly the same as I do, what I need you for? Okay? So I'm glad that there are people in here that I don't agree with, but I have come to respect greatly, Lyman and others. for their position. Yes. Okay? I don't agree with y'all all the time, y'all don't agree with me all the time, but I tell you what, we can respect each other and our positions and not make it personal. You know, not shout expertise. Okay? I think that's important. Okay? We are one big happy family. Oh my God. Mary Carr asked that this letter be written, and since you're here, Mary, would you like to read the letter yourself? You have your copy?
I do, actually. Thank you all very much for trusting me with the credential responsibility. It was not nearly as bad as it sounds, but I really enjoy it. And also, I was just taken aback that you all thought enough to award me the highest number of votes as a delegate to the state. Thank you very much. Now, there is an issue that is on my mind since the county convention. Please understand that this has nothing to do with any person involved in this situation. All it has to do with is the approach. And I'm going to read this because I'm still on my way from Camden to North Carolina, so I might not say everything I want to say. One particular issue has been on my mind since the county convention, and I wish to give you my thoughts on this as a longstanding member of the executive committee here in Lexington since the 1980s. The idea of fundraising for the Lexington County GOP was presented by a member of the executive committee with discussion of charging a $10 fee to have our name placed on the state ballot. I am not indicating a position for or against this issue. I am submitting my dismay that this discussion was translated into an action on the assumption that this fee had been voted on for approval by the executive committee. I discovered in the January and February minutes that this had not been voted on, and even brought it to the attention of the former chairman, the planners of the county convention, without satisfactory result, in my opinion. Instead, we were all told at the precinct reorganization that this plan was for getting our names on the state ballot. My dismay results from the override of the county executive members who are elected by their individual precinct members to vote on matters that are brought before the executive committee at the monthly meeting. This is not to me an arbitrary decision by a chairman or a steering committee. It can be suggested by the chair, by the steering committee, or an executive committee member on which the full executive committee members ultimately vote. This delegate fee brought forth valid questions at the credentials table at the state convention. For example, I thought I already paid $10 for the state. Does this count toward the $40? The $35. This action has set forth a precedent that I do not believe is good for our county party, and would like to strongly suggest that the current chairman give assurance to the executive committee members that this precedent will no longer continue, but that the business of the Lexington Republican Party will be brought forth by the chairman, by the steering committee, or executive committee members and will ultimately be voted upon by the duly elected executive committee representatives of each precinct. Thank you for your indulgence in this matter. Mary Carr, Old Bonneville Road, Executive Committee.
Thank you, Mary. Is there any other new business? Someone else? Ron?
Yeah, I just had a question for the elected officials that are here. There's parades coming up, and I believe some of you are going to be in the parades. If you need any help, this would be a good time to try to ask some people to sign up.
The Poultry Festival Parade is this coming Saturday. I need help. I'm going to be giving out hand fans at the parade, and the parade starts at 10 o'clock, but we'll be lining up at 9:30. And I have a really good spot in the Poultry Festival. I'm the Grand Marshal in the Poultry Festival. So we're number one, so you get to come, we moved all the way from the back to the front. We came a long way, baby. So you get to come to the front of the parade this year. But if y'all want to come and help this year, give out hand fans along the parade route. If y'all want to come, Rebecca will be there. We'll have a bag or something with the hand fans, and y'all can come hand out hand fans. Then the Peach Festival's July 4th. We ordered a lot of hand fans. And you know it's hot. Everybody likes some hand fans. So we'll be giving them out at July 4th parade too. And I don't know if Todd's going to be at the parades, but I know he would love to have some help too, walking with him or riding with him or whatever he's doing.
If you
So.
can join us and help him, we would love it. We'll obviously we try to correspond the way we best can, and I'll be throwing some things out in July. I'll be doing the Poultry Festival. Definitely some house number over there, but definitely it's Beach Festival. I only go to the hot ones.
Thank you. If there's any way that we can help, we'd be glad to. If I can be there.
If y'all still have your T-shirts from last year, the Katrina Shealy T-shirt.
One thing that I do have that I'm very proud of is a little postcard from Hugh what's his name. Those of you who signed the petition to get Katrina back on the ballot know exactly what I'm talking about. I cherish that thing. That's my bookmark and everything I'm reading right now.
Well, don't bring that. Just wear it.
I also created a T-shirt that says, "Yes, Jake, you're darn right, I signed it." Is there any other new business? Sir.
Mr. Chairman, Gary Taylor from the Oakwood Precinct. Last year, we gave the TARS a contribution to go to the Washington Conference. We gave $500, and of course, Tripp has that, we did that last year. Since there's two of them, I would entertain, like, to make a motion that we divide it and give them $250 apiece, maintain that level. If they're willing to go and represent our county and us, Republican Party, and certainly is responsible in some way.
So your motion is that we give a check for $250 to each of the two gentlemen?
$500.
$500. Is there a second? Okay, is there
We
discussion?
can stand up, so I still didn't hear.
Gary Taylor made a motion that we, again, give a check for $500, but because there's two men to the TARS for their trip to DC, but because there's two gentlemen, that we give $250 to each, and there was a motion and a second. And is there any discussion?
Second.
There's a second, is there any discussion? Yes, sir.
I think we should give them the money, but I think we should require them to come back after they get back and report what's going on.
So there's a motion on the floor, there's a second. Is there any other discussion? Okay. All in favor of contributing $250 to each of the two gentlemen in the TARS, raise your right hand. All opposed? I believe that motion is carried. Okay. Does anyone want a division on that? Okay. Yes, Ed, you had what do you want to do?
I guess I was a little suspicious of that.
Yes, sir.
And when y'all first started talking about the steering committee got together, they had the meeting and all that, I don't recall any notification that was, what Matt said, apparently that hasn't been the norm. For any of these committees that we're having and everything, I, for one, would really be appreciative of email notifications, the meeting's gonna be, and maybe a quick synopsis of what happened in the meeting after. And I mean, if they have it someplace where I can show up, you know, I might even show up just to see what's going on.
Okay.
I have a thing.
Thank you.
I mean, I have something to say about email, you reminded me. Do you know how many emails bounce back to us because we don't have the right emails? We need all of y'all's right, well, correct emails. Okay, I mean, it could be just like mine, it's one before, they left off before. I didn't leave it off because I've had it for so long, but I probably didn't. Anyway, so if we could get your correct emails, everyone could get an email.
And everyone who's not currently signed up, I put together a MailChimp account, and some of you know what that is, but these emails that you're getting from me recently about the county convention or tonight's meeting, that's the MailChimp system. You can opt out of it if you feel like it's annoying you, but you can forward it to other people if they'd like to add their name to the list as well. But leave us your correct email address. I want to say I had about 13%. I had 300 emails going out, and about 40 bounced back as just slightly incorrect. Instead of a dash, the correct one was an underscore. So, Rebecca, you know how that is. We go through these big lists and.
Actually, on that note, I can send you a corrected list. I wrote down probably 75% of those and have their corrected ones for you. So.
That'd be great. And let's, if you aren't on that list, give us your email. Send us your email address. We will put you on that list. When there's a steering committee, we will inform you. If there's any other committee, if you want to be on a committee, one of the Christmas party committees, things like that, let us know because we would love to have this help.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Jerry Martin, Eastern District. Is it possible to go on the website and update your own information on the county website?
There is a login and password system on the
Okay,
website.
is that what we should build a list?
Well, the list that I've been sending out isn't connected to that, but,
Bill,
yeah.
your MailChimp, you can get a widget from MailChimp to put on the county party
That's true.
website. You can list people to email.
Okay, and I'll do that. There'll be a way to, I'll put it on the website, a way to click on an icon and sign up for it. That answer your question satisfactorily? Full transparency, I want everybody to be as included as possible. Is there any other new business?
Starting with a new slate of officers up front here. I just want to announce that on my part, when we have a meeting, if somebody wants to suspend the rules to expedite whatever, I'm going to oppose it every single time. Because it seems to me that people want to suspend the rules because they're afraid if they announce something for the next meeting, that there's going to be a lot of people oppose it and all that. Horse hot. That's what we're here for, to discuss this stuff. If I come up with something where I don't like Lindsey Graham or something like that, we shouldn't suspend the rules today. So I know I can get something done, to irritate him. That's wrong. I mean, if the man wants to show up, if somebody wants to defend him, we should say next month, and then we'll all sit there and talk about it next month. But, I mean, short of the Chinese attacking California, I don't think we should be suspending the rules. I mean, it ought to be dire circumstances.
I understand your concern about that, and suspending the rules is something that's a motion from the floor, and that you all vote on. And if that's what you want to do, you're going to do it. If you want to object to it, if you want to stop it from happening, then you're going to stop it. What I would encourage everyone to do is be at the meeting. Okay, because, numbers
the chairman address it. And I was wondering if you would be willing to address that. Because it was an open statement to the new chairman, in essence, in terms of dealing with the $10 fee on the ballot and how you would handle it.
Yeah, well, and I would be inclined,
I'm good at putting people on the spot.
that's quite all right, and that's what I'm here for. 3 weeks ago, you painted the target on my back home, so, I'm here to serve you. I'm not sure how to address it at this point, other than to say we wouldn't continue the thing. We certainly need to follow the rules and have the thing voted on by the whole, as much as possible. Again, I am not that's not the word I was going to use. I'm not authoritarian, I'm delegatory, okay? I'm participative management, okay? My focus in college was total quality management, okay? So you've got to be involved.
So what you're saying is it's not something you would continue without there being a vote by the executive committee?
That and other issues, yeah. I'm a facilitator, okay?
So you go back to the way it formerly was?
I don't think it's ever changed. The rules are still the way they were.
Well, I'm talking about
Yeah.
the price cost.
Well, the next time we have a decision, it's going to be your decision, not mine.
If there's not an exception, if there's not a motion made to charge for it, we wouldn't be charged for it.
A motion, a second, discussion, and a vote. Yeah, the Robert's rules. Certainly, you should all agree with that. This is your party, not mine, right? I don't own it, you own it. So, but I hope that addresses it to your satisfaction. Okay. Other business, if there's no other new business.
I make a motion we adjourn.
Second.
We have announcements.
Okay.
We have
We're going to allow for announcements, but the motion is on the floor that we adjourn.
Could she amend that and let me make the announcement about first
Well,
Tuesday tomorrow?
That'll be up to her.
I'll amend it long enough, you make one announcement.
The first Tuesday tomorrow, Brooklyn Baptist, 1245, is $15. Dr. Nick Zace is speaking to us, and we've asked the two chairmen from Richmond and Lexington to come by and say a few words. So that is tomorrow.
So we have a motion and a second.
No, I'm just gonna make one comment. I just asked if I can make one quick comment. Richard Peterson from Beulah Church. Last year was the 70th anniversary of the Doolittle Raiders. There's a great book out now called The History of the Columbia Army Air Base. I'm proud to say that my dad was one of the coordinators of the Doolittle Raiders. And this May 22nd, we are commemorating a memorial to the airmen and one female pilot that died in service at Columbia Army Air Base out at Lake Murray. And it'll be May 22nd, 5:30. And we invite everybody to come, and we're going to dedicate that. And then after that, we're going to welcome the honor flight that's coming in from Washington, D.C.